Welcome back to Coach Ginn's Court inside Ginn's Gym here in Hill City, South Dakota for tonight's varsity boys matchup between the Belle Fourche Broncs and the Hill City Rangers. And once again, here are my partners, Josh Dias and Blake Gardner.
All right, welcome in tonight to tonight's boys game between the Hill City Rangers against the Belle Fourche Broncs. Just saw the Hill City Ranger girls defeat the Broncs in girls basketball by 12 points. I think we got a fun one coming up tonight here. Start out with some basketball headlines. We went over this before the girls game. The girls, Makpialuta, on a 51-game regular season win streak now. They were able to defeat the Lennox Orioles, the number 2 team rated in girls, earlier this week at the Hanson Classic. And then also the other big girls game, the Rapid City Christian Comets were able to beat the Sioux Falls Christian team 55-54 in overtime. Upset there. I think Sioux Falls Christian was rated number 3 at the time. So a nice win for the Rapid City Christian girls. In boys basketball this weekend, West Central had a 46-42 win over number 4 St. Thomas More. Really close ball game there. That was, like you said, the Coach Hollenbeck Bowl, where obviously Coach Hollenbeck, the longtime coach at St. Thomas More, and now is at West Central. Number 1 team rated in the boys. We saw Hill City Rangers saw them. Really strong ball club.
Boys basketball, Derek Roby announces his retirement at the end of the season after a really illustrious career. I said earlier he started at Aberdeen Central, was there for 20 years, and when he went to O'Gorman, I think a lot of us in the coaching circle thought, oh, it'd be nice, he'll be there for 4 or 5 years, and 20 years later he's retiring from O'Gorman, and kudos to him on a great career. And then just a highlight here locally, the girls and boys snapped losing streaks, had a really tough stretch of games there where the competition was just top notch. And so even though the records don't show it, you can see in the PowerPoints that the Rangers are still ranking pretty high in the region. So
yeah, so last night's game in Class A boys, some big games. Hamlin, I think, who's the number 2 rated team right now, or maybe number 3. I think number 3 in Class A, and DeSmet is number 2 in Class B. They were able to beat the DeSmet Bulldogs 80-63. The other one that is I don't know if it's a surprise when you see the win, the West Central boys, who we just talked about. They played the Baltic boys, who I think Baltic has a real nice ball club. They're kind of like the Rangers. They don't have the best record right now, but they're a pretty strong club. Obviously, they kept it a low-scoring game, but West Central did come on top of that game 37-31.
Yeah, and the other one, if you're a Belle Fourche fan watching, first of all, thank you for joining us tonight. But the Broncs, they played Parker Marion earlier in the season, and Dell Rapids gets by them. So, some familiar foes there.
And now here's the media poll for Class A basketball in the state of South Dakota. As we said, West Central is sitting there at number 1. That's kind of what started Hill City's stretch of really tough games. They were beat by the West Central Trojans there, and then Sioux Falls Christian, number 2. They obviously came into Hill City on Friday, and Hill City played them. Makpialuta, that was the second game of the year for the Hill City Rangers. So, you see a lot of those teams that Hill City has seen, as you see right here, some very strong ball clubs. Makpialuta, they lost to West Central. Mobrick Pollock is now 6-3. Obviously, Rapid City Christian, always a tough out. And then Spearfish, I think, rated number 4 in Class AA right now. And then Hill City got back in the winning column there just on Saturday over the Sundance Bulldogs. And now the Belle Fourche Broncs come into Hill City here for tonight's game. Class 8A region, the standings there as we sit right now. You see Hill City sitting in 4th place behind St. Thomas More. Lee Deadwood actually sitting in 2nd place right now. Kind of a surprise if you're a local basketball fan. They've had some tough years, Lee Deadwood has, but coming out strong this year with an 8-2 record. We'll obviously see them a little bit later in the season. Rapid City Christian sitting there just above the Rangers at 5-6. And then see the Belle Fourche Broncs. They have a young team. They've got a couple players, 1 or 2 players that got a lot of minutes last year, and pretty much some new kids sitting at 1-9 right now.
All right, you see the profile here for the Belle Fourche Broncs, coached by longtime head coach Jim Martin. It says 2nd season, but Coach Martin has an illustrious career. I would put up against anybody in South Dakota, honestly. Just what he's done, and he's obviously a special guy for me. I coached under him for a couple years at Belle Fourche and think the world of him. They were 5-16 last year. Belle Fourche as a program, 21 trips to the state tournament since 1916, and it's been a little while, right, since they've been there, and their last state tournament was 1994, and Coach Martin hopes that he's building something for the future that maybe they can get back there again here before too long. You can see their record here. It's been a tough go. They've been in some games, but they got that win over Sundance, and that's one of the only common opponents that I think we've had thus far. Is that correct?
Spearfish, I see, New Underwood, but since those first few games, not too many common opponents. Hill City obviously will play some of those Black Hills Conference team coming up here. So on the Hill City side of things, obviously Hill City, South Dakota here playing the Black Hills Conference. Coach Laramie Harvey here in his 5th season, and obviously we talked about a first ever state trip to the state tournament last year with the team that we had, and some returning players here. Hill City does have a key player out tonight, Dax Franzen, with that back injury, so he'll be sitting. So be on some of these other Rangers to kind of step up in his absence tonight. You know, that first game of the year, we saw him basically put the team on his back against Kadoka, where he scored 32 points and almost had all the points midway through the quarter until the end of the ball game. So some other Rangers are going to have to step up tonight in his absence.
Yeah, and even though the records might show a different story, Josh, you and I have coached together long enough that we know that in the Black Hills Conference, there is no gimmies, right? And we'll probably talk about it here later on, but the history of Belle Fourche and Hill City, there have been some great games over the last 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, some really great games, and the funny thing about it, I was thinking about this on the way here, it seems like a lot of times, or we've had many times where the home team was the favorite and the visiting team came in as the underdog and has upset that home team.
Good evening and welcome to Gins Gym for tonight's boys basketball matchup between the Belle Fourche Broncs and your Hill City Rangers. And now for tonight's starting lineup, starting with the visiting Broncs. A 6-foot senior, number 3, Cern Weichard. A 5'11" junior, number 4, J.P. Jensen. A 6-foot sophomore, number 22, Tatum Martin. A 6'1" junior, number 40, Gabe Raba. And a 5'11" 8th grader, number 52, Ben Raba. The Broncs are coached by Jim Martin, assisted by Damon Lang, Ryan Lang, Zach Lang, and John Shanklin. And now, the starting lineup for your Hill City Rangers! A 6-foot sophomore from West Three Forks, number 2, Mason Buhner. A 6-foot senior from East Three Forks, number 3, Zen Messick. A 6'5" senior from the east side, number 15, Brinson Venneklausen. A 5'11" senior from Emerald Pines, number 20, Nick Schreiner. And a 6-foot senior from East Rapid, number 22, Isaiah Brewer. The Rangers are coached by Laramie Harvey and assisted by Abe Herman. Let's play Ranger Ball!
All right, again, thank you for joining us live here from Coach Ginn's Court in Hill City, South Dakota. One of the great introductions in South Dakota high school athletics. Greg Schrader on the intercom. I'm jacked up. It's Hill City and Belle Fourche.
Yeah, we're ready to go here. Always ready to go when Greg Schrader does the introductions if you're a Hill City Ranger fan.
So Venaklassen will jump against Raba.
Venaklassen tips it into Schrader. Schrader gets the first 2 points on the pass from.
All right, Martin brings the ball back the other way, guarded by Bueller. Martin just a sophomore. Bronx move the ball around the perimeter.
Rangers in the man-to-man defense here. It's Worstner with the ball. Martin. Ball comes into Raba. Going to be offensive foul. Nice defense there by Mason Bueller to force the offensive foul. Down here on offense, that was Isaiah Brewer just finding Nick Schrader for the wide open two.
I didn't want to alert the public. I thought you were having a stroke for a second because you stopped talking. I didn't know what to do. Ball comes back. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Yeah,
okay.
We're ready to go here.
All right.
So Brewer playing the point guard spot.
Greg
now with
Schrader
Franks
got
now.
you so excited you couldn't remember what you were talking
Absolutely.
about.
Messick goes over the top there, and Venaklassen gets that one to go. Nice look by Zane Messick to find Venaklassen there in the post. Now Martin brings the ball up. He's guarded by Mason Bueller, two sophomores there.
In that last possession, I think, Coach Harvey drew that play up, but Messick's really deadly when he can become a facilitator and a scorer, right? We a lot of times know him as a scorer, but that was a great read there. Threw the ball over the top to Venaklassen doing work in the post. And now on this end, Venaklassen playing defense. Really nice move there by Raba. Can't get the left-hand finish to go, and Brewer looks to push back the other way, guarded by Cern.
Yeah, like we said, so Dax Franzen is almost exclusively playing the point for the Rangers this year. Brewer now is going to take over those duties. He's familiar with that. He came over from Douglas where he was their point guard the last couple years there. So Messick now gets to the rim, gets that layup to go. So Rangers 3 for 3 from the field now, and they jump out to the quick 6-0 lead over the Bronx.
Yeah, really nice read there by Messick. I think he was even looking to throw the screen and roll, and just wasn't there, so he attacks on his own. Shot on the way is up and good for Weishire.
Yeah, nice shot there by Weishire. Kind of silences the crowd with that three-pointer. Gets that to go, so now Mason Bueller with the basketball. Gets the screen from Venaklassen. Over to Messick. Messick being guarded there by Jensen. Tries to get it into Venaklassen off his hands and is going to turn that ball over. Here come the Bronx. Going to be a foul on the floor there on the reach. Nice drive by Wishnar there for the Bronx.
All right, so go ahead.
I was just going to say first team foul on the Rangers. That foul is going to be called on Zane Messick, his first. Raba guarded by Schrader. Shot up and good there. Was able to kind of gather himself and made the nice lay-in there. So
yeah, so really nice job of the Bronx to battle back. It was 6-0, and I thought maybe the Rangers were off to the races, and now a quick shot by the Rangers, and here comes Martin and the Bronx coming back the other way with a chance to take the lead. So Martin dribbling at the top, trying to get some screens. They got both Raba boys screening for him there.
Good defense there by Mason Bueller, and that looks like an offensive screen there. Nick Schrader comes away with the steal. He's going the other way. Going to be fouled on the play. Foul there on Wishar.
Yeah, nice job defensively by the Bronx after the turnover. 3 guys were running back, and Weishire commits the foul, but nice effort by the Bronx hustling back, and it's going to be a
quick timeout there by Coach Martin. It's going to send Nick Schrader to the free throw line. So yeah, you said it. The Rangers 6 quick points, 6-0. Looked like they were just going to start, blow the doors off of the Bronx here. And the Bronx did a nice job just fighting back, made a quick 3, and then the nice post move there by Raba to get the 2-pointer to go.
Yeah, and I think if you're Coach Harvey, you're saying, hey, let's just be patient on offense and let's run. We don't really have a name for it. I think you and I call it the express offense, right, which is just kind of you throw it, you run to the corner, and then you have a screen and roll. And I think if they're patient with it and they make the defense move side to side, they will get layups.
Yeah, you saw it in the first couple possessions there. They did get some really nice shots, and then the Bronx did a better job there the next couple times down the court Good play there by Nick Schrader to make the steal and get to the free throw line.
Yeah, so Schrader will go to the line. He's got 2 points tonight, and he's really kind of known as the defensive stopper here for the Rangers. So the first one is up and good. And before Nick got that steal, I do want to give kudos to, you said Mason Bueller. He fought through 2 or 3 different ball screens, did a really nice job with his on-ball defense. So Schrader was a recipient of a loose ball that bounced his way, and he goes 2 of 2, and we'll have Brody Moriarty check in for Nick Schrader. So the Rangers go a little bit bigger here. I think trying to play defense. The Raba boys down in the post are a lot to handle.
Yeah, Bueller almost makes a steal there now by good hands there. Into the game for the Bronx. Checks Gavin Pearson for the first time. He'll give Ben Raba a break here.
Yep,
so the Bronx go smaller when the Rangers go bigger. Interesting.
Yeah, and Pearson is a senior for the Bronx. So they go screen and roll action here. Rangers just switch it. So Brewer on a mismatch on Raba in the post. But, Brewer's a strong kid. He's got a really solid base. I think he's fine guarding really 1 through 5. Shot on the way is no good. Messick, long rebound, throws it ahead to Bueller, and shot on the way is going to be no good.
Yeah, nice look by Messick. He saw Bueller running ahead, just couldn't get the layup to go. Now Jensen brings the ball quickly the other way. Going to be a travel there on the play, I think. Yep.
Yeah,
Pearson
Messick
just got going a little bit too quick there.
Yeah, I was just going to say Messick was there just enough to give him, the happy feet. Thought maybe he should get a live ball move in. So turnover goes back the other way. Looks like a 2-3 zone here for the Bronx this time down. This will be the first zone look we've seen. So again, if you're playing a zone, go high post, go short corner, and move the ball side to side.
Yeah, try to get those players to move till you find the gap. Brewer gets into the paint. Good pass there to Venaklaas.
Yeah, and that was actually a schemed up play. I don't know if you could see that. Moriarty screened the center of the zone. Venaklaas slid right through there. Great action by the Rangers.
Yeah, so a couple times there that the Rangers have some nice interior passing, get Venaklaas a couple good looks, and he's able to knock it down. Rangers back up by 5, 10-5 here.
And I'd really like to see the Rangers get Venaklaas going. How about you, Josh?
Yeah, he hasn't really got going offensively. He's gave him some good defensive minutes a couple games, but he has the ability to score for him too. So a three-pointer on the way, and Robin knocks that 3 down, brings the Bronx back to within 2 points here. 10-8 Ranger lead with just over 3 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. So the Bronx do stay in that 2-3 zone. Venaklaas over to Messick. Messick's three-pointer on the way, and Messick gets that one to go. I was watching Messick before the game in warm-ups, and his shot looked really good. There can be times when Zane, we've talked about it, can just get hotter than a pistol, and in warm-ups it looked like it had the potential to be that kind of a game for him tonight.
Yeah, so for the Bronx, checking in will be Malu. And he'll check in for Martin. So Martin takes a seat here. 2:53 left in the first quarter. 5-point lead for the Rangers.
Three-pointer put up there by Brewer. Going to be off the mark and comes down to the Bronx. Messick picking up full court man-to-man here now. Playing some really solid defense there, just hounding the basketball. Jensen gets it over to Raba. Jensen now looks at the 3, good ball fake, gets into the lane. 2-pointer up on the way, can't get it to go. And Messick's going to come down with the loose ball there. Brings the ball up the court. Tries to get it into Venaklaas, and Raba just stepped in front of that pass and was able to steal it. Now the Bronx bring the ball the other way. 3-pointer on the way there, and going to be just deep, rebounded by Brewer of the Rangers. Now Brewer looks to push, tries to get it to Venaklaas, and just out of his reach, and that just turns the ball over there. I don't mind the Rangers pushing the basketball because I do think they want to get some easy ones in transition, just a little bit out of reach there for Venaklaas.
Carson Kolb now checking in for Venaklaas, and that's exactly right, Josh. You and I talked about it over the weekend that I think this Ranger team can be a little more aggressive in transition, getting up and down the floor. Bueller off the turnover. No good. Kolb's shot on the way is no good. Good block there by Raba. So the Bronx hold firm and get a stop. 13-8 with 1:50 to go here
Yeah, just a couple just off the rim there for the Rangers, but they do retain possession here. Brewer now from the corner, three-pointer on the way, going to be just Harden. Kolb doing good work, comes down with the offensive rebound. Brewer gets it over to Messick. Messick's three-pointer on the way, and Messick gets it to go. Yeah. So a couple of really good offensive rebounds, second possessions for the Rangers, able to get Messick the ball in the corner, and he knocks it down, and now Bueller creates the turnover there. Going to turn the ball back over to the Rangers, and
yeah, that's one thing that's carried over from last year's team. I feel like it was, the Rangers really hung their hat with their defensive presence. They're on ball. It's a physical style of defense that they play, and you can see that already having impacts here in this game. Great high-low action on the zone. That's exactly how you attack a zone, Josh.
Yeah, but what I'm going to talk about right there, great high-low action. Rangers missed their first shot there again, and Moriarty goes and gets the second chance. He's going to the free throw line. There's 3 possessions in the row where the Rangers have not scored on the first basket, but we're able to keep fighting for it, get a second possession, have a chance to go to the free throw line, shoot some free throws here now.
And unfortunately for the Bronx, that's 2 on Raba, and he's kind of been the anchor for the Bronx here. The first one is up and no good. And Moriarty's game has really grown even since the first week that we watched him play. I really like what he's doing here for the Rangers. So his first one is no good. Sorry, go ahead.
Nope, I was just going to say Nick Schrader checks back into the ball game. He's going to give Isaiah Brewer a break here. Moriarty's second free throw is good, so the Rangers stretch their lead out to 9 points here. Minute 24 left to go here in the first quarter. Martin's going to bring the ball up the court. He's guarded by Bueller. Yeah, and the Rangers just switch all that. They have very similar players that can kind of guard all 5 players, so they pretty much just switch all those screens. Messick doing a great job defensively now. Gets the ball, steals it, gets it up to Bueller. Bueller's going to get to the rim. Can't get it to go, but there's another offensive rebound. Carson Kolb, again, that's the 4th time in a row the Rangers have missed their first shot, but get the offensive rebound. Carson Kolb gets that one to go and gets fouled. He's going to go to the free throw line. It's going to be the 4th team foul, and that'll be the first on Malou for the Bronx.
Yeah, and if there's a play that perfectly identifies Carson Kolb, it's that. Just running down the court, making a gritty hustle play, and the ball will get tipped out of bounds by Belle Fourche fighting over it. And so be back to the Rangers as I think Bueller just checked out, and did Brewer check?
Came back in for Bueller there. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter.
So the Rangers go a stack. I'd like to, just out of reach. And kind of the rondo move there for Weishauer as the Rangers chased him on the full court turnover, gave the ball fake, step back, and then shot is up. Going to be a foul on Kolb. I think Carson saw what I saw, that Zane was unguarded on the left wing, and I think he was just so excited to get the ball and get it over to Zane, who's hotter than a blowtorch right now, and ball just slipped through his hands.
Ian Voiles will check into the ball game for the Bronx. He'll give Gabe Raba a break here. First one no good for Washnar. Gets the second one to go, so 19-9, 52 seconds left to go for the Rangers. They run the sideline break. Right down to Brewer. Brewer's three-pointer is going to be hard. Rebounded there by the Bronx. Ben Raba. Martin now. Gets the ball into the lane. Out to Washnar. Voiles. Voiles puts the three-pointer up and gets it to go. So Voiles checks into the ball game. Knocks that three-pointer down. Big three-pointer there. 26 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Rangers look like they're going to hold for one. They're up 19-12. Bronx are going to stay in the 2-3 zone, so just let Zane Messick dribble around at the top of the key, and they'll go with probably 8 or 7 seconds left to go here in the first quarter.
They're going to just screen the top of the zone. Zane going to his left, a little bit long. Brewer fights for it. It's able to come down. No good, and that's the way the quarter will end. So a nice job for the Bronx to battle back there right in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, the Rangers lead 19-12, but 5 unanswered points there by the Bronx to kind of make them feel like they've got some momentum going into the second quarter here. Good first quarter for the Rangers, though. They had some played good defense. They got a couple runouts, got some layouts. I thought they had some good, nice interior passing there to get some teammates, and then really on the offensive boards is what really did it for
Yeah,
them.
Raba's been a load to handle there in the middle of the paint for the Bronx, and I think you can tell that, you know, they want to run a little screen and roll, kind of like the Rangers. It's a different setup, but, you know, it's screen and roll action. But when they go away from that, they really do try to anchor Raba in the post, and they've had success feeding him. On the flip side, if you're the Rangers, like, you just get the impression it could be a special night for Zane Messick tonight. He, you know, only 8 points in the first quarter, but boy, those 2 threes were pure, and he's just got a little bit of fire. And we talked about it. He's really a dual threat when he's looking to facilitate. He's got 2 assists already, 8 points. Look out for Zane Messick here
tonight.
tonight.
You say only 8 points in the first quarter, but if he scores 8 points every quarter, that's 32. That's a pretty good ball game. So.
That is that's Josh Dias pace right there.
All right, so if you're watching on the YouTube, go ahead and chat us up there. We'll give you a shout out. Debbie Goodyear, Grandma Debbie watching Mason Bueller from Wisconsin. Go Rangers. So Bronx start with the basketball here. Martin gets it into Voiles. Voiles gets another one to go. So Voiles checks into the ball game, scores 5 quick points for the Rangers, and the Bronx are back to within 5 points here.
Yeah, and that's one where the switch actually hurt the Rangers. Bronx ran an Allen Iverson cut there, and then Rangers switched it, and they were able to feed the post one-on-one. Voiles makes them pay. So we're looking at a 5-point game here. Skip to Messick. Shot on the way is going to be a little long. Brinson fighting for it, and he goes over the back of Voiles. So Voiles coming in, making an impact here with 5 points tonight. Good job cleaning up on the boards that time.
Yeah, so the Rangers are going to set up their press here. Bronx get it in. Malou, the basketball, guarded by Bueller.
So 1-4 high set here. There's that screen and roll.
Yeah, Martin over to Voiles, back to Malou.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see it at home. We talked about it. The Rangers try to just switch everything, and there's a good pin there by Raba, and they're going to call a holding on the backside, and that's exactly what we were talking about. Raba got Schroeder right on his hip, his back hip, and Schroeder just, I think, panicked a little bit and was able to grab him. But, yeah, the Bronx looking pretty good there on the offensive end.
Yeah, really, here's now Voiles with another chance to get one to go, but he can't. There's a good box out by Nick Schrader that time. Now looks to run. Mason just slows it down now. Messick's going to get right to the rim and gets it to go. There's going to be a block called on a really late whistle. I do think that was a block. He was way underneath the basket there. Zane went right to the basket, scores, and going to be a foul on Ian Jensen. That'll be his first, team's first here. Zane Messick with an opportunity on the three-point play here. Free throw up and good.
So 11 points tonight for Messick as Martin brings the ball back the other way, guarded by Isaiah Brewer. Martin getting the Bronx into the screen and roll offense here. And that time you can see Zane fought through it. The Rangers did not switch. Martin in the corner. Ball moves around the perimeter. So Weishauer rejects the screen, goes back to his right, a little contact, but shot's not able to go. Brought down by Bueller looking to run, and Brewer can't quite get that one to go. He's been...
Yeah, he hasn't just quite found the range yet tonight. Had some good looks and just a little bit off. Rangers lead by 8. Martin gets it over to Malou. Guarded by Bueller now after the switch. Now gets the ball into Raba. Raba up and in. Kind of a mismatch there against Schrader. 6-point lead now for the Rangers and Brewer gets it over to Messick. Now Mason Bueller with the three-pointer from the wing. Can't get it to go. Good rebound there by Werschnar. Gets the ball over to Martin. So now the Bronx with a chance to get within 4 points or 3 with a 3. Going to be an offensive foul there. Good defense by Zane to just set his feet, take the charge with the little forearm shiver there.
I was just going to say that Zane's defensive positioning on the ball is just as good as I've ever seen. And then, you know, he's also got the gift of selling the call. But that was without a doubt the right call.
Absolutely.
He was in good legal guarding position, so turnover and the ball will go back. The Rangers up 6. Now the last 3 possessions the Rangers have went empty. They've settled for 3-pointers. I'd like to see them attack the rim just right on cue, and Messick will draw a foul.
Yeah, really good job there of, just like you said, that Messick knowing that, we've taken a lot of 3-pointers, gave a little bit of a ball fake and just got the defender to stand up a little bit, able to get to the rim, get fouled, and go to the free throw line. First free throw up and good by Messick.
That foul was on number 22, Martin, so that's Martin's first.
Second one also goes for Messick, just coming off his hand just right tonight. You can see sometimes he gets a little bit, the ball comes off his hand funny sometimes when he's not shooting it real well, but it doesn't look like that tonight at all.
Good unselfish play there to get the ball to Raba. And
Nice
Raba,
shot,
yeah.
mid-range there by Raba. Pretty good recovery by Brewer, but Raba just able to go up and get it. Now Brewer gets to the rim and gets that one to go. So a nice strong move there by Isaiah Brewer. He gets in the scoring column for the first time tonight. Rangers back up by 8 points. Martin with the basketball, guarded by Mason Bueller. Looks like they're trying to almost run a 1-4 high set here. And they're going to run a deep 3 on the way. Going to be long right to Voiles. Voiles puts it up and knocks it down. Voiles is a pretty good shooter.
I tell you what, the Belle Fourche Broncs have great touch. Their mid-range jumpers have been on point tonight. And again, 6-point lead for the Rangers. The Broncs just kind of hanging around, playing a gritty style of basketball here. Brewer's shot on the way is no good. Good job by Veniclassen to crash and give us the rundown on why it's hard to rebound out of a zone.
Yeah, we've talked about it almost every game when we see the zone. It's just difficult to rebound out of. You don't have a man that you're guarding. So as soon as the shot goes up, you have to just go find somebody to box out. And if you don't do that, the offense has an opportunity to get those offense rebounds. We've seen it tonight. Rangers have, I don't know, I can remember 5 or 6 offensive rebounds already in the ball game here, and it's just extra possessions that you get.
Great point. Good baseline drive by Martin. Shot is up on the way. That's a tough pull-up. So Martin gets on the board with his first bucket of the game. And it's a 6-point game. So the Broncs
not a whole lot of defense either way. Both teams kind of scoring here at will. Brewer gets it into Moriarty. Moriarty back to Messick. Messick, wide open 3-pointer from the top of the key. That one just off to the left, and that one's going to bounce out of bounds. So, yeah, Belle Fourche Broncs with an opportunity to scratch back into within 4 or even 3 points with a 3-pointer here. 3:20 left to play here in the first half.
Rangers full court pressure. Ball comes in. They just throw it to half court to Voiles. Now Warshire, and I apologize if we've been saying his name wrong. Feel free to get into the chat here on YouTube and let us phonetically figure out how to say his name. But he's been a nice player here for the Broncs, and they were able to get the ball to him on the press, and Messick back the other way, behind the back.
What I really like about that, he missed a couple 3-pointers, like you said, and he had an open 3 there, but he rejected it. He got into the lane and got an easier shot and got it to go.
Yeah, Messick having a great game for the Rangers here, and Warshire rejects the screen and roll and kicks it to the top. Raba tries to dribble. Bueller, quick hands, is able to get it on the run out, and layup is good. And Mason's defense has been on point tonight. It's his first bucket, but he has definitely made some plays on the other end of the court.
Yeah, absolutely. Rangers get that back to that 10-point lead here.
So the right side of the lane cleared out for Martin, going one-on-one with Bueller. Pull-up jumper on the rim, and it falls. So 4 points this quarter for Martin. And a technical foul on Mason Bueller, it looks like.
Yeah, Mason Bueller thought there was an offensive push-off there, and he was talking to the official and just didn't stop. He just kept talking. So that's going to be a technical foul on Mason Bueller. Not really what you want, up 8 with 2:11 left to play here in the first half. So it's Weishauer. Thank you for that. Weishauer is the correct pronunciation.
I'm just happy somebody's watching.
Absolutely, yeah. So thank you for that. Also watching Rangers from Casper, Wyoming. Go Rangers. That's Chester Herman, 8869.
So
and Bishop Cattle, thank you for the correct pronunciation there, Weishauer.
Speaking of Weishauer, he goes to the line, makes his first one of the technical. Second one's just a tad long, but he's got 5 points tonight, 2:11 again, it just feels like, Josh, every time I think the Rangers maybe are going to kind of blow the top off this thing, the Bronx have an uncanny way of just hanging around and making a play. So, again, I give that credit to a gritty team here, really well coached. You know, again, professing my respect for Coach Jim Martin, sitting on the sidelines, done it for a ton of years, one of the all-time greats. And so the Bronx come back here into this 1-4 high screen and roll, continuous.
Yeah, Braylon Ron checks into the ball game for the Rangers for the first time.
Schrader also checked back in. Martin's shot on the way is going to be no good. Rebound by Ron. Messick throws it ahead, and Schrader sends it to Moriarty. A really nice job by Voiles sliding over there. You know, the lane looked open at first when Moriarty got the ball, but really nice job by Voiles. I don't think there's any arguing that call.
Yeah, you're right. Moriarty saw that lane, and Voiles did a nice job of moving over. Moriarty just got in the air a little bit too quick and wasn't able to stop his momentum. So now Raba with the basketball. Martin over to Weishauer. Weishauer on the three-pointer and gets that to go. So back to a 4-point lead here for the Rangers. So Belle Fourche just doing a great job of hanging around, taking advantage of kind of a couple mistakes by the Rangers to get right back into the ball game. Ron over to Schrader. Schrader, skip pass to Messick. Messick over to Moriarty, back to Schrader. Now Ron over to Messick. Messick's going to take the long three. That one's deep and rebounded there by Martin. So now the Belle Fourche Bronx have a chance to get to back within 2 points or 1 point with the three-pointer. It's Malou. Moriarty steals the ball away. Good defense there by the Rangers. Now Messick looks to push the ball, gets into the lane, and a good pass there to Brenson Veneklassen, but he's fouled on the play. It's only going to be 14 fouls, so Rangers will inbound the basketball here.
You know, I know Zane's a wide receiver on the football team, but that was almost like an option play. I could just watch his eyes. He was reading where Voiles was at. And once Voiles turned and showed his chest to Messick, he just dumped it over his head right to Veneklassen. So no option yet left to except to foul there, excuse me.
Now Bueller wide open with a three-pointer. Can't get that one to go. It looks like the Rangers, Schrader's going to come down with the rebound. No, that's
Ron.
Ron can't get it to go. Another long rebound for the Rangers. 31 seconds on the shot, 34 on the game. Ron back to Messick. We'll see if the Rangers, what they want to do here. They can almost play for one. Good pass there to Moriarty. Now over to Schrader, back to Ron, and that ball's going to go off of Ron's hands. It's going to turn it over to the Bronx. 23 seconds left to go now here in the first half. The Bronx are going to have an opportunity to get the last shot of the half. See if they can get some momentum going into the locker room. Actually, they do have a lot of momentum now. See if they can even build on that. Martin guarded by Bueller. Weishauer gets into the lane, can't get it to go. Now rebounded by Schrader. Now the Rangers are going to have a chance here. Messick, 6 seconds left to go in the half. He gets to the lane, shot up, can't get it to go. Nick Schrader with the rebound, can't get it to go, and that will be how the first half ends. So if you're a Belle Fourche Bronx fan, you got to be really happy with the way they battled back to only be down 4 points after being down 12 points here with about 4 minutes left to go in the second quarter, right back in the ball game. So we will take a couple-minute break, add up the scorebook, and be back here with about 5 minutes until the second half begins.
All right, welcome back, and thank you for being here again, live from Coach Ginn's court, Belle Fourche and Hill City. It's 32-28 in a Black Hills Conference battle here tonight. And any quick reflections from the first half?
I mean, I give a ton of credit to Belle Fourche. Looked like the Rangers were going to kind of blow it open, up 12 points there about midway through the second quarter, and Belle Fourche just hung right with them. You've got to give them credit, you know, for being able to do that. They're hanging tough. They're scoring on the Rangers. We talked about it here during the break. 28 points for Belle Fourche. If you're Coach Harvey, you're probably saying, hey, that's too much. They're almost going to get 60. We want to keep them down around 40, right? So.
Yeah, and I just looked on the season. Belle is averaging 44 points per game. So, you know, they're at 28. They're well on their way to eclipsing that. You know, if you're the Rangers, 32 points on the offensive side, it seemed like it was hard. It wasn't smooth, but 32 points is a lot of points and a half, right?
Yeah, Zane is kind of carrying the team right now, obviously. I think he had 8 points in the first quarter. Not sure how many he had in the second, but I'm sure he's leading the Hill City Rangers. I like what he did there. He missed a couple three-point shots, and then so he tried to get it into the rim there. I'd like to see him keep doing that in the second half.
Yeah, we talked about it. You know, the vulnerability of any zone, especially a 2-3 zone, is if you can get the ball to the middle or you hit those short corners, right? And so you can either get there with a pass, or we've seen Zane do it a few times where he just beats the first guy with the dribble. Now you're in the middle of the zone, you have a shot, you have a kickoff. So
yeah, and you've seen him give it up to Venaklassen a couple times for some layups. So I think they want to keep obviously taking advantage of that.
Yeah, so Belle Fourche, you know, Weishauer leading the way with 8 points. He really heated up after we learned how to pronounce his name.
Right.
So 8 points there. And again, it is worth noting right now, we are not professionals, and I apologize. Feel free to hit that mute button.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't talked about that lately this year, but absolutely, feel free to hit the mute button.
Yeah, we will not be offended. We won't even know.
Right.
7 points for Voiles. He came in and just really soft touch. And
instant offense, right? And just from the very end of the second quarter to the beginning of the third, had all 7 of his points and about 4 times down the court there.
Yep. G. Raba with 5 points and then 4 points for Martin. And then on the flip side, pretty good. You know, a lot of guys in the scoring column. I'm not going to say balanced scoring because obviously Zane doing the heavy lifting. 15 points for Messick here in the first half. At the end of the first quarter, we made a comment, well, he's only got 8 points at the end of the first quarter.
He only scored 7 in that. He's on his way to 30. So,
yeah. So, you know, Zane, you can just tell he's kind of got the hot hand tonight. And I know he's trying to be a facilitator, but don't be surprised if late into the third quarter, into the fourth quarter, he just takes over. 6 points for Venaklassen, 4 for Schrader, and then we have 2 apiece for Bueller, 2 for Isaiah, 2 for Kolb, and then 1 for Brody came in and made that free throw.
Yeah, so, you know, in the second half, it's interesting. The Rangers aren't even out here yet, so I have to imagine that Coach Harvey is really, you know, they really were a great defensive team last year, and they want to be known as a defensive team, so I'm sure that's exactly what they're talking about in the locker room. That it's something they really want to improve on as the season goes on, and right, it might as well be in the second half, not right here, right now.
Yeah, that's a great point. You know, and I think back to all the years that we've played Belle Fourche. We alluded to it in the pregame a little bit, that you know, this has been kind of a fun rivalry over the last 20 years. I think back my very first year coaching in Hill City, we were still playing in the other gym, and it was an afternoon game, and it was just a ugly grudge match. And it came down to a final shot. Belle Fourche missed an open shot. They should have beat us. That was my first time coaching against Jim Martin, again, a guy that I have a ton of respect for. 2 years later, we're at Belle Fourche, 09. We had a really good player, Andy Coy. We run in a baseline out of bounds play. We tried to run it for Andy. Obviously, they knew that we wanted to run it for Andy, and we ended up hitting a kid named Colton McLaughlin who hits a shot at the buzzer. We win on the buzzer.
Everybody rushed the court on that game, fun game.
And that was a fun one. We've been on the other side of it too, though.
One of your last year's coaching, we had another really good team.
2018, we beat them by 30 here in Hill City.
The first game of the year, I think, yeah.
And then the first round of the playoffs, they come down and they had, I can picture him. I'll think of his name, but you know, and then they end up beating us right at the end as well. So
right, and then even more recently, right? I think it was 5 years ago. I think we were the 6th seed. They were the 3 seed. We went up to Belle Fourche. That was the game where we got the pass ahead to Bueller, and then he threw it ahead to Willie Walther and made the spin move and beat him at the buzzer. And then I think 2 years later, when I think we were the 3 and they were the 6, they came into the gym here and beat us in the first round.
Yeah, and so I know it's a cliche when you say any team can win on any given night, but I mean, tonight is proved 4-point game. I would think if you were a Vegas odds maker, Hill City would have been favored. But, you know, credit to Belle Fourche, they're hanging around, and we'll see what the second half brings. I want to give a quick shout out. Dr. Steve Willard watching sent me a text message. The legend Matt Martin, want to give him a shout out. It is the uncle of Tate Martin. So thank you again for being here.
Yeah, so the second half will start here with the Rangers basketball. Looks like the Rangers go with the same lineup as they started the ball game with, as do the Broncs.
You know, when we were coaching Josh, a lot of times we'd come out of the huddle and we'd say, let's win the first 2 minutes of the game, right? So the Rangers do a little cross screen on the zone. Nice play out of there, and Veniclausen can't get it to fall. I love that play that the Rangers just ran.
It was a really good play. They just were trying to get, you know, Brewer in the paint, which they were able to do. Got Veniclausen a good shot. If you're a Ranger fan, unfortunately, he just couldn't get it to go. Messick knocks that ball out of bounds. Luckily for the Rangers, because Weishauer had a clear lane to the basket. Looked like he was going to get a wide open layout there, but knocks the ball out of bounds. Going to stay with the Broncs. Weishauer now with corner 3, can't get it to go, and Veniclausen comes down with the rebound for the Rangers. Mason Bueller brings the ball the other way. He's going to slow it down. Get it up to Messick.
By the way, the 2018 game, it was Young was his last name. Olsen, and he cooked us for like 30 points. So, all right, we're over that. Mason Bueller shot on the way is up, and it's going to hit the shot clock, no good. So, a couple possessions, no points yet. The Broncs look to inbound the ball.
Get it into Jensen. Jensen now guarded by Bueller. Brings it across the timeline.
Yeah, you can just see they're really well coached at that. When the Rangers switch, they really make sure they attack that roll there.
Yeah, nice job by Brewer there to go up and keep the ball alive. Looked like it was going to go right into Raba's hands, and Brewer was able to get up and tip it to another Ranger here. So Brewer now, 3-pointer on the way, and gets that one to go. So nice shot there for Brewer to be able to get that one to go. And he's gonna.
I didn't see what happened. I was looking down to record the stat here.
Brewer he turned to the crowd and did the ice water in the veins to the Belle Fourche Broncs bench, and he'll get the technical foul called, and he's going to.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Kind of a turn of events there. I was just getting ready to say you could feel a sigh of relief. That shot went in for Brewer, and it was like, all right, we saw one go in. And then, you know, just a taunting technical, so Weishauer will go and shoot 2 here, and the Broncs get the ball. So big mistake there by the senior for the Rangers. Weishauer now with 9 points and has a chance here to get to double figures. Just misses, so he goes 1 out of 2 on both of his technical free throws, but the Broncs will retain the basketball with the sideline inbounds, and Isaiah Brewer's going to take a seat as Brody Moriarty checks in for him.
Yeah, I kind of saw that building actually in the first half. I saw Brewer turn. He was talking to the crowd, was talking to him, so he turned and kind of talked to him, and I think, you know, he just kind of got in his head there. You just need to let that go, obviously, if you're a player. Make the 3, run back, and play defense. So now Belle Fourche with the basketball. Weishauer gets into the lane, guarded by Messick. Back to Raba. Raba into his brother, Raba. I'm assuming brother, I guess. And that shot's going to be just off the mark, rebounded by Veniclausen.
Yeah, really nice job by Moriarty. We talked in the last game about the rule of verticality. He just went straight up and was able to create a brick wall there. Ball moves around the perimeter. Messick shot on the way, just rims out. No good, and good job by Bueller fighting for it. It's going to be turned over, but you like to see the hustle as Bueller's fighting in there with Martin and Raba.
Got a 6-point lead now here for the Rangers. Rangers come with that full court press. Bueller guarding Martin. Screen by Rabbit, rejects it, goes back the other way. Good help side defense by Nick Schrader. Forces the Bronx to bring the ball back outside. Jensen now gets the ball to the free throw line. Back to Rabbit. Rabbit's going to turn, fire the three, and gets it to go. So his second three-pointer of the game has a real nice touch, obviously, and brings the Bronx to within 3 points here. 5:39 left to play in the third quarter. Bueller over to Schrader. Back to Bueller.
Yeah, one thing we talk about when you're attacking the zone, you can move the zone with some ball fakes. You'd like to see the Rangers, nice back screen there by Moriarty to free up Zane, and that one from our angle was straight on, no question about it. So
Messick, really good when it's left his hands. So the Rangers back up 6. Coach Harvey's going to take a quick timeout after that three-pointer.
You know, I'm not really a big fan of taking a timeout after you score, but I love that one right there because you're saying, we just hit a three, let's dig in, no more, right? Like, at this point, you're a cheerleader, you're on the bench, you're just rallying your guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like, all right, guys, let's dig in and play basketball. Rangers have 2 technical fouls now, kind of making some mistakes, silly mistakes. Let's just bear down and play basketball.
Yeah, and I think if you're Coach Martin, you say, hey, let's keep doing what we're doing. We are right there. We are hanging around. That's the anatomy of an upset, right? You hang around, you make it ugly, and you give yourself a chance in the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter.
And one score update I got for you. Shadron is up on Custer, 39-31 with 3.5 minutes to go in the boys' game.
Thank you. Dynamite drop in. That sultry voice was Landon Wiley from Wiley and Associates. He's the man behind the graphics here.
Steal right there by Messick. Gets right to the rim and gets it to go. Just a bad pass, and Messick able to grab it. Now Jensen brings the ball into the front court. Quickly, Rangers back up 8 now. Mason Bueller. Defense.
So maybe the pep talk from Coach Harvey has paid off here early on, but you know, I like the way they play inside out, go into the Raba boys, and Jensen loses the ball, turned his back to the
Good
basket.
hustle by Brody Moriarty to get on the ground. Going to be a tie-up and stay with the Bronx.
Yeah, really good hustle play. You're 100% right. So ball will stay down here, baseline out of bounds. Looks like a box set here.
That's one. Coach Harvey was right. No shot clock reset, so it's still 16 on the shot clock.
Here's America's play for Weishauer.
Yeah, Rangers do a nice job of guarding that. And now it's going to turn that ball over. Messick comes the other way quickly. Going to get right into the paint. Gets to the rim, gets it to go, and he gets fouled. So nice dribble drive by Zane Messick just to split the top of the zone. Gets to the rim. Good lay-in.
Yeah, we said it off air, Josh, that, you know, a lot of times you want balanced scoring, right? I mean, you want to get everybody involved, but I just feel a game like this, you know, it was a 3-point game just 2 minutes ago. I feel like Zane Messick, senior leader, is going to say, just get on my back, right? He's going to take over.
Yeah, can't convert the 3-point lead play, but the Rangers now lead by 10 points. Bronx, ball over to Raba. Weishauer now on the handoff. Weishauer with the three-pointer on the way, going to be short.
Yeah, nice play by Raba by turning and throwing that off Moriarty. So Raba, just an 8th grader here for the Bronx, so getting some good quality minutes. And again, we talked about it in the pregame a little bit. The Bronx are a young team building for the future here. Weishauer, one of the seniors, and so is it Pearson.
Here comes Brewer now. Brewer is going to get into the lane. Little step over to Moriarty. Moriarty tries to get to Messick. Good defense there. Going to get the basketball and go right to the rim and say, you're going to block it, I'm going to go score it. So 12-point lead now for the Rangers. Just over midway through the third quarter. Jensen with the basketball. Gets it over to Weishauer. Zane Messick with the tip. Weishauer still retains possession. Now into Raba. Raba back to Jensen, over to Raba. Yeah, they got the switch they wanted. Going to be a block on Brewer. Going to send Raba to the free throw line. It's Brewer's second foul. Team's first. Team's second, sorry. Gabe Raba to the free throw line for the Bronx. Free throw is just left. Martin's going to check in. He's going to give Jensen a break.
Raba having a nice game tonight, 8 points for the Bronx. He's got 3 of the 4 points here in the second half so far, make it 4 out of 5, and he's the leading scorer for the Bronx.
Messick with the basketball on the wing, gets it down to Moriarty. Rangers moving quickly. Back to Messick. Messick's three-pointer on the way and gets that one to go.
You know, the unsung hero in that play is going to be Veniklas, and if we had replay, he basically posts up and seals the high post, draws the double team, kicks out for an open three. Hopefully Zane gives him a point and says thanks for that.
All right, Raba guarded by Veniklas. Tries to get into the lane. Nice back door by Weishauer. Yeah, good back door, good layup by Weishauer. Good play.
Yeah, that's 11 points tonight for Weishauer. He's having a nice game for the Bronx. So the Rangers come back the other way, attacking that 2-3 zone with a 12-point lead. Ball moves around the perimeter.
Moriarty in the corner. Back to Bueller. Bueller. Messick now. Fakes the three. Going to step back, take the three, and gets that one to go. So Zane's feeling it obviously tonight. Gets another three-pointer to go. Stretches that lead back to 15. And nice pressure defense here by the Rangers. Martin now with the basketball. Gets it into the front court. Rangers switch back here. Bueller.
You know, just that last possession, the degree of difficulty on that shot, because Martin read it. He got through that screen. That was a design play to screen the backside of the zone, and Martin got through it, and Zane still made it. Martin no good on that shot. Rebound by Brewer, guarded by Weishauer. Brewer trying to draw a little bit of contact, coming back the other way. Ball gets skipped around the perimeter. Bueller's shot on the way is up and no good. So the Bronx come back, 140 left here with a 15-point Ranger lead. Rangers have really opened things up, kind of clamped down on defense here in the third quarter.
Smelou with the basketball over to Raba. Back to Malou, three-pointer on the way for him. Going to be just off the mark. Good offensive rebound by Weishauer there. Raba's going to take the three-pointer after the hesitation, and now Veniklas comes down with the rebound for the Rangers. Bronx just look a little bit tired on these shots here. Hasn't been a stoppage for quite a while. Brewer over to move it around. Now Brewer's going to take the three, going to be short. Moriarty comes down with the rebound though. Now Messick's going to get into the lane. Shot on the way, no good. Another offensive rebound by Moriarty there. Brody Moriarty out to Brewer, and this time Brewer gets it to go again.
So 53-35, the Rangers have really stretched it out. Moriarty guarding, oh man, Zane right at the rim there. Moriarty made that play happen with the steal.
Yeah, now Brewer knocks the ball off of Malou, so that's going to turn it over to the Rangers. So Rangers really picking up the defensive effort here now. 24.9 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Stretch that lead out to 20 points, 55-35. And the defensively, he's talked about it. You know, 7 points given up in this quarter thus far. Rangers have picked up that defensive intensity, and that's what's really propelled them in this quarter here. Looks like the Rangers will play for one.
This is that inside screen play that they started the half with. Ball's out to Messick. Air ball goes the other way. 2, Martin on the run. 1, it's going to be tipped from
nice
behind.
defense by Nick Schrader to knock that away. So that's how the third quarter will end. The Rangers stretch that lead out to 20 points, 55-35. Zane Messick hot in that quarter.
Yeah, he only had 15 that quarter, so he's only got 30. So
he's only got 30. So 15 is more what you felt like he scored in those first two quarters, each one of them. So up to 30 points. Really nice. I mean, 3 three-pointers in that quarter. The one step-back three was a tough shot.
It was. And as great as the offensive performance by Zane Messick was, if you're a Ranger fan, you're more excited, I think, about the defensive energy. But if you're Coach Harvey, you're saying, well, why did it take us 16 minutes to decide that we wanted to play better defense, right?
Right.
Holding them to 7 points.
It's interesting how that happens, right? It seems like that defense just translates into offense. loosens everything up because it does take a toll. If your offense, Belle Fourche, I said it, they look tired at the end of the third quarter. If you're playing hard and you look up at the scoreboard and you're like, man, we only scored 5 points, just naturally it causes you to kind of lower your shoulders, and it's tough, right?
Yeah, the Rangers with 5 3-pointers in that quarter, so 15 of their points come off, shooting it from the outside. That's also a little bit deflating. So, I expect the Bronx to continue to play hard. It's a 20-point lead. I'm sure Coach Martin is saying, hey, 0-0. We're a young team. Let's find some positives and some things to build upon. And if you're, Coach Harvey, you're probably telling your guys, let's extend this thing. Let's go from 20 to 30, right? So ball will move around the perimeter.
Into Kolb at the top of the key. Kolb turns and looks, finds Messick in the corner for 3. And why wouldn't that one go? Knocks it down again. Stretches that lead to 23 points. Messick now with 33 on the night. Martin with the basketball. Guarded by Bueller. Over to Malloy. Out to Weishauer.
Nice job by Carson Kolb to fight
really nice
around
job.
there.
Now Mason Bueller brings the ball the other way. He's going to get to the rim. Can't get it to go, but he'll go to the free throw line to shoot a pair. Yeah, it looked like maybe that jump stop, and then he might have been able to see Kolb running right beside him there, but he'll earn a trip to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
Yeah, and I know you can play defense on the post in a variety of different ways. You and I always kind of like the idea of trying to front the post, and Carson Kolb worked really hard on the other end of the court there to fight around Voiles, was able then to deflect the ball, which triggered the fast break for the Rangers.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it when a defender really works hard to get around front there and just make that entry pass difficult. He was able to do that. Bueller's second one goes.
Yeah, so that's 3 points tonight for Mason Bueller.
Yeah, and Martin now brings the ball up the court. He's guarded by Bueller. I said it before, sophomore on sophomore there, so 2 younger players for both teams. Now Voiles, the basketball. He was instant offense there, and between the second and third, I think we're going to call a travel play. And I don't know. I thought that was pretty good footwork there. It is going to be called a turnover to the Rangers.
Give a quick shout out to the legend Ethan DeShock, the pride of Belle Fourche. Thanks for watching tonight. Ethan, a longtime coach and a great basketball mind. Zane Messick, he is just hotter than a blowtorch right now. 36 points for Zane. Just seems like everything that he throws up is going in, and it's just fun to watch, right?
Yeah, when he gets like that, I've said it before, he can get as hot as any player that I've ever watched play at the high school basketball level. And when he gets like that, it turns into a night like this.
Yeah, so I think back to the region championship game a year ago in the Sodak, where the Rangers led 21-0 at the end of the first quarter against Eagle Butte to go to the state tournament.
And I think Zane had 19 of the 21.
Yeah.
So
he can get hot, and when he does, look out. You just hope that it's not fool's gold. Sometimes when you start making 3-pointers, you forget to attack the rim. But
yeah, he's done a nice job of that. He missed a couple threes in the first half, and then he did decide to get to the rim. So really nice game from him. And he started the game by sharing the basketball. That's the best thing, and it felt like it just kind of got him going tonight.
100% agree with you. So the Bronx come back the other way. It looks like Otis checks into the game, and Otis is a familiar face. He plays on Laramie Harvey's AAU travel team, and so we see Otis here in this gym a couple times a week during the summertime. Shot on the way is no good. More importantly, Otis's parents were high school classmates of mine back in winter, so rooting for Otis here. There's going to be a foul here.
I think that foul is going to go against Schrader. Nick Schrader fighting hard, but just kind of on the ground there. He's going to let the Bronx inbound the ball from the baseline. Schrader and Kolb check out, and Venaklausen and Moriarty will check in for the Rangers.
So cross screen for the Bronx to inbound it. And then a diagonal cut by Raba, posting up hard in the paint. High ball screen. Rangers do switch it. Nope, they switch back. Brewer under the screen that time. Weishauer, deep corner guarded by Messick.
Gets it into Voiles.
And
Voiles, nice post move there by Voiles. He's done some nice things. He has limited minutes, but when he's been in there, he's made an impact for the Bronx here tonight.
Yep, 9 points for Voiles, and if he buries you on his backside, good luck. So ball gets skipped around the perimeter, trying to move the zone side to side for the Rangers. They hit Veniclassen at the high post and got a little cute with that one as it's deflected twice and eventually goes off Moriarty. Yeah, you can see Coach Harvey say, hey, let's keep those fundamentals at this point. So ball almost goes out of bounds to Messick, kicks out to Brewer. No good.
Good tip there by Veniclassen.
Deep.
Now Messick from 3. That one, looked hard off the hand. So now here come the Bronx the other way. Weishauer's going to get to the rim. Can't get it to go. Veniclassen comes down with the rebound for the Rangers. Weishauer still down. Looks like he's fine though. He's up, coming the other way. Moriarty now on the wing. The Rangers just going to run a little clock here. Brewer gets into the paint, tries to get it to Mason Bueller. Going to be turned over here. Pearson will check back into the ball game for the Bronx. He had some minutes in the first half. He's going to give Weishauer a break there. Nick Schrader checks back into the ball game for Mason Bueller.
Yeah, so a couple nice rebound games for the Rangers. That was a tough one against Sioux Falls Christian, and just Rangers did not really play well, and plus then you're playing one of the top teams in South Dakota. They've rebounded with a nice big win over Sundance, and then, this great second half here for the Rangers. Going to be a foul on Moriarty. Nice job by Raba sticking with it.
Yeah, it was really nice job. Veniclassen tipped that first one, but Raba just stuck with it and went up strong. He's had a pretty nice night for the Bronx here. Done some nice work on the interior. Step back, hit a couple 3-pointers for the Bronx here tonight. 6'1" junior forward. Free throw on the way is going to be just deep.
Raba with 9 points here tonight. Kind of fun on the sideline. Your eyes go over to the bench. You see, Coach Jim Martin, 77 years old, talking to his grandson there on the bench. Kind of a cool moment for grandpa and grandson to get to be on the court together. Messick's shot is no good. We'll see if he keeps firing. No, he had the right idea, cross screen or going across to Moriarty there.
Yeah, just too much traffic, and that'll turn the ball over to the Bronx. Just deep. Brewer comes down with the rebound for the Rangers. Moriarty now with the basketball. Skip pass to Messick. Messick back to Brewer. Bronx just stay in that 2-3 zone. Messick's going to take that 3. Can't get that one to go. And Schrader tries to run it down, but it's going to go out of bounds over to the Bronx. 24 lead here for the Rangers, 4:21 left to play in this ball game. Gets it into Malou. Picked up by Schrader to bring the ball into the front court. It's going to be an offensive foul. Good job by Zane Messick to get in there, stand in there, and take the charge. We'll go the other way. Zane Messick's had a nice job, obviously offensively, but he's done some really nice things on the defensive side of the court here tonight too. And I think Coach Harvey's going to take a timeout here. 4:07 left to play in this one.
Yeah, really nice job by Zane Messick at that end of the floor. That's a toughness play, right? And there's a few things that can really, I think motivate a team. I always think like taking a charge, like that gets your guys going, right? If my buddy is willing to slide in and sacrifice his body, I better bring the juice as well. And so Zane obviously did it on that one, slid over and got ran over.
Yeah, he did. He got ran over. He got rewarded by getting the offensive foul, but he might feel that one in the morning. He played wide receiver on the football field, like you said, in defensive back. He might have wished he had his shoulder pads on for that one.
Yeah, so, if you're Coach Harvey, I'm sure you're saying, hey, your older guys, we're going to give you a minute or two. We're going to try to simulate some things, and then you better play hard because we've got 3 or 4 guys that are ready to come in. And this is kind of when, it's just fun because you can work on some things.
Yep, and we'll see how they end it. Like I said, 4:21 left to go, I think, in the ball game. 4:07, 62-38 Rangers basketball. It does look like they have that same group coming out onto the basketball court here. Brewers going to bring the ball up. Actually looks like the Bronx go into a man-to-man defense here after the timeout. Rangers recognize it. Set up their man play here. An offensive foul on Brewer. Just kind of threw that elbow out there.
You know, and if you're, you hate to even think this way, but if you're Coach Harvey, you've got Brewer with a technical, 2 technicals, you're ejected and you sit out the next game, right? So you think you're up 24 with 3:45 left. You know, just does that go through your mind, you wonder. So hope it doesn't come down to that. So the Bronx will inbound the ball, sideline out of bounds play here.
Yeah, Brewer now with 4 fouls actually, so.
And Schrader grabs the ball. I think that's the right call.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely. I thought it was a foul way before he blew the whistle. I thought Nick Schrader grabbed him by the arm and then got the ball. I thought it was just a late whistle, but it was absolutely the correct call. So it's going to send Melou to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
And that's
and you want the Rangers to keep playing hard, but it's at the point where, hey, we want to play defense without fouling at this point. There's 2 fouls there in a row on the defense of the Rangers. Probably want to, this is what we talk about. The time running off is probably more important than getting the turnover and trying to get points there.
Nice play by Veniclassen to throw it ahead to Schrader. Messick reverse layup is up and good, and that shows you right there what kind of athlete he is. He took off on the outside of the paint and was able to finish on the other side. Really nice job by Zane Messick there. Bronx come back the other way. Rangers playing.
Raba gets right to the rim. Good drive there by Gabe Raba.
And that gets Raba into double figures, so 11 points for him. And then Coach Harvey's going to get a bench warning, it looks like. Not sure what he was mad about there.
So the Bronx bring some players back in. Both Weishauer and Jensen and Martin come back into the ball game for the Bronx here.
Yeah, like you said, 24-point lead for the Rangers. 3 minutes left here in the game. So Messick gets a ball screen, he's going to step back, and boy.
Might as well get over 40 here tonight. So I think that is his 41st point if I was adding right in the 4th quarter. And then now Messick's going to make the steal and get to the rim. Going to be fouled on the play to go to the free throw line.
Surprised the crowd's not going crazy for 6-7. Anyways, Messick goes the line, 2:41 left. Looks like a host of subs is going to check in. I think that's a good deal there for the Rangers. So Messick's first one is up, and I believe that's 42 points here tonight. It's one of the top performances we've had in Hill City history. Obviously the record is,
I think the record is 63 points. I think 1972.
But in the it was in the 50s or 60s. But in the modern era, so 42 points Taylor Edwards scored in Wall. So Messick's right there, 41 points. I know Andy Coy had 36 one game. So certainly rarefied air for Zane Messick and his performance tonight.
Yeah, so Colt Eckert into the ball game along with Landry Harvey, Braylon Ron back in there, Carson Kolb, and Brody Moriarty right now for the Rangers. And Carson Kolb gets the 2-point shot to drop. Rangers up by 30 now, 2:15 left to play in the ball game. Jensen now guarded by Ron. Switch, Carson Kolb now guarding Jensen. Martin into Rabba. Rabba back to Jensen. Jensen gets by Ron. Now Rabba, three-pointer on the way. Gonna rim out. Ron comes down with rebound for the Rangers. They bring the ball up the court. Ron's gonna get into the lane and can't quite get it to go.
Yeah, nice job of Rabba to slide over. The ref lifted his hand like it was gonna be a charge. We'll give him one, right? I mean, anytime you sacrifice your body and try to take a charge, we'll reward that. So,
well, Colt Eckert with some nice defense there on Weishauer's going to turn the ball over.
So clock is running, 30-point lead. Minute 15 left here in the game. Jensen guarding Ron. Over to Harvey. Rangers won the JV and the C game earlier today, so these two, a lot of these players have seen each other earlier on. Kolb, shot is up and good. Carson coming alive here.
Yeah, now Martin dribbles ball into the front court. He's now guarded by Colt Eckert. Over to Weishauer. Weishauer, three-pointer on the way, gonna be no good. Nice rebound there by Kolb. Snatches it down for the Rangers. Now Ron, he's guarded by Jensen.
Yeah, nice job of defense for Jensen. Gonna get picked up for a foul though, as Ron gets a step advantage on him and he just slaps from behind. So
20 seconds left to go. That clock is running now, so might be the end of the ball game. We'll see if the Rangers, yeah, it looks like they are gonna inbound the basketball here, and then they're just going to hold, I think. Colt Eckert's going to dribble the ball out front. He's saying, should I shoot it? And they say, no, don't shoot it. So, actually, Ron does shoot it now. So 72-40, that's the final of the ball game. The Rangers' second half, was a really pretty close ball game at halftime.
So 72-40, like you said, tale of two halves here for the Rangers and the Bronx.
Yeah.
28 points at halftime for...
Gave up 12 points on defensively in the second half. If you're a Rangers fan, that's exactly what you want to see. After 28 points, we said it was too much, and then they come back and only allow 12 points in the second half. That's the difference in the ball game right there, I really think. So Rangers had 32. They would have only had to score 8 points to tie the ball game in the second half. So defense, defense won the ball game for them. Zane Messick, obviously, with 42-point outing. You said, might be tied for the second highest output ever in Hill City Ranger history. Pretty impressive. He was hot from the beginning. I said it. I was watching him warm up, and the ball just was coming off his hand just right in warm-ups. And
yeah,
carried that through the ball game.
Yeah, and like you said, he was kind of starting the game to pass first, and I think that's maybe a key for him, is trying to get the other guys involved. That defense sags off a little bit, and then it was a flamethrower. It was like, it was fun to watch. So, yeah, we talked about Zane with 42 points. The other guys to contribute, Isaiah Brewer with 8. We had 6 for Carson Kolb, 6 for Vinnick Lawson, 4 for Schroeder, 3 for Mason Bueller, and 2 for Brody.
Yeah, we talked a lot about how balanced scoring Hill City has had throughout the year. Wasn't really balanced tonight. Zane just, put the team on his back and carried the scoring load here tonight.
Absolutely. Looking at the Bronx, they had a couple guys with 11, Weishauer and Rabba with 11 each, 9 for Boyles, 4 for younger Rabba, and 4 for Martin.
All right, so after each game, we like to give our mythical fake game ball. I'm trying to remember, did you go first last time or did I?
I went first last time.
Okay,
and just so if you're watching from Belle and we call your name, you will not actually get a physical ball.
Yeah, unfortunately. We don't have any game balls to actually give out. We just do this for fun. So I'm going to give my mythical fake game ball to Gabe Rabba. I thought he did some nice things in the post, stepped out, hit a couple threes. I really like his game.
Yeah, I thought that's a great choice. I'm going to go with Weishauer. I think he really, you can tell, like, he's a senior on this team. He's a point guard. He kind of, he deserved my game ball today.
All right, and on the other side of things, I don't think there's much discussion here. Obviously, Zane Messick will get my mythical fake game ball.
Zane gets mine. I mean, there was just no doubt. Fun. That was a lot of fun to watch Zane Messick.
Yeah.
So Zane plays old man hoops with us during the summertime, and I can never guard him. And now I see why.
Yeah.
I mean, holy smokes.
If he shoots it like that, not a lot of people can guard him.
Thank you. All right, the look ahead for the Belle Fourche Bronx. You can see they have Makpia Luta here coming up, and then Hot Springs, and then Mobridge Pollock, who the Rangers, faced off against them. So doesn't get a lot easier for the Bronx here in the near future. But again, they're young, they're growing. I never felt like they just quit or gave up, so that was a positive. Then looking at the Rangers schedule, they got the Philip Scotty Dogs and Sturgis Scoopers under new coach Aaron Notaboom. That'll be interesting to watch. And then the one I'm really excited for, January 29th against Wall. Wall's super athletic, the defending 9A football champs. It was a great game a year ago. There was a technical late in the game which gave the Rangers an advantage. Hill City ended up winning that one.
Yeah, winning in a tight one. Wall made the state tournament last year, and they returned everybody. They didn't lose a player, so they're going to be a really tough team. Sturgis went down to beat Rapid City Christian earlier, about a week and a half ago, so that Sturgis game is going to be a tough one too. So, we talked about the tough schedule for the Rangers in the middle. It's not really easing up yet. At this point.
Yeah, and this weekend is the Hanson Classic in Mitchell, South Dakota. It's played at the Corn Palace, 44th annual. It's one of the longest running classics in South Dakota, and you can see the schedule there. The marquee game, they have St. Thomas More playing Lennox, and Lennox was at the state tournament last year. So.
Yep, Lennox was at the state tournament last year. I think they barely beat Vermilion here on a last-second shot. They've got a really good ball club.
Sorry, the marquee is actually West Central and Clark Willow Lake, and they were both at the state tournament last year.
They were. Actually, Hill City played both of those teams at the state tournament last year.
Yep. So. They have the big kid, right?
Yeah.
Sully?
Yep, that's correct.
And they're both two of the top 3 teams, I believe, in Class A boys right now. So that's going to be a really fun one to watch Saturday night. So it's the St. Thomas More, Lennox. Both of those last 2 games are going to be real fun to watch.
But Saturday afternoon, we should be watching the Hill City Ranger girls back here at Gins Court. Blake and I will be back to do that game against Alliance. 1 p.m. is the JV tip, and then followed by the varsity game at, I think, 2:30 scheduled.
Yep.
So.
Well, signing off, I want to say thank you again for joining us. It's always a pleasure, and tonight was a fun one. And yeah,
Go Rangers.
We'll see you soon.
All right, have a good evening.